Ryan had always considered himself an average guy. He wasn't particularly bad at dating, but he wasn't great at it either. Conversations always started well enough, but at some point they would fizzle out, leaving an awkward silence hanging in the air. He watched as women's eyes flickered with boredom, their smiles becoming polite but distant, signaling that their interest was slipping away. He never understood what he was doing wrong. One evening, sitting at a dimly lit bar with his friend Jake, Ryan finally voiced his frustration. "I don't get it, man. I ask questions. I try to be funny, but it's like, something's missing." Jake smirked, swirling his drink in his glass. "You make it too hard. You're thinking too much about what to say next instead of making her feel heard." Ryan frowned. "What do you mean?" Jake leaned in, lowering his voice. "It's called the echo method. Women love it. It's simple but powerful. You just listen, really listen, and repeat key words or phrases from what she says. It makes her feel like you understand her, like you two are on the same wavelength. It's psychological, man. People love feeling validated." Ryan was skeptical, but Jake had a track record of effortless charm. "That actually works?" Jake grinned. "Try it and see." Later that night, Ryan found himself at the bar alone, nursing his drink when he noticed a woman sitting a few stools away. She had wavy brown hair and an air of quiet confidence. She was talking with the bartender about her recent trip to Italy, her eyes glowing as she spoke. "Italy was incredible," she said, smiling. "The food, the history, it felt magical." Ryan decided to test Jake's theory. He turned slightly toward her and said, "Magical?" She glanced at him and laughed softly. "Yeah, like walking through Rome at night, with all the old buildings lit up. It felt surreal." "Rome at night. Surreal. That sounds amazing," Ryan echoed, keeping his voice warm and interested. Her expression brightened. "It really was. Have you ever been to Europe?" Ryan hadn't, but instead of shifting the topic to himself, he kept the focus on her. "Not yet, but the way you describe it makes me want to go. What was your favorite part?" Claire, she introduced herself a moment later, launched into a story about a tiny family-run cafe in Florence, where she had the best pasta of her life. Ryan listened intently, nodding, repeating little details here and there. The more he echoed her words, the more she talked, her enthusiasm growing. The conversation felt effortless, natural, like they had known each other for ages. Hours passed, and the bar started to thin out. Claire was laughing, touching his arm lightly when she spoke, leaning in just a little closer than before. As she reached for her phone, she bit her lip, then smiled. "I'd love to keep talking sometime. Do you want to exchange numbers?" Ryan walked home that night, his heart feeling lighter than it had in years. It wasn't a magic trick, and it wasn't manipulation. The echo method worked because it made people feel valued, seen, and understood. And for the first time in a long time, Ryan realized that dating wasn't about saying the right thing. It was about making someone feel heard,